We are back, round 6, Swedish movement. It's complete panic and confusion, so no order got through. Kerstin Gustafsson screaming his lungs out to get the cavalry forward, but nothing happens. They can't reach the cavalry, those orders. They are lost in the confusion of those pikemen that got wiped out at the bridge. So now we're back on this stalemate here. So let's see. What can the Swedish do? Swedish shooting phase. Swedish south wing of the blue regiment will fire on the same musketeers there. 2 dice hits on 4. 1 hit. They have a save of 5, 1 dice, and it's a failure. 1 casualty, and they are now shaken. Then we have Commander Shotte musketeers. They're gonna fire 4 dice in the center on the Spanish south flank. 1 big Swedish volley. Fire. Gonna be hits on 4. We've got 3 hits. Spanish musketeer have a save of 5, 3 dice, and it's 2 saves, 1 casualty for the Spanish regiment. Ouch! The bodies start floating in the river now, and they have become shaken. They won exceeds over the limit. Yeah, so they need to take a break test. Here we go. 1 over the limit, -1 for a break test. That's 6 for shooting. Infantry unit holds its ground. The Swedish light artillery gun, they're gonna fire medium range on the north flank of the Spanish musketeers on the other side of the river. It's gonna be 2 dice, hits on 5. Fire, here we go. And it's miss. Shots landing too short in the river. No more shooting for the Swedish and no more hand-to-hand combat. Imperial movement turn. So we are back, round 6, movement phase for the Imperial. Captain Miller forcing his pikemen to charge over the bridge. The game is just becoming the defender become the attacker and the attacker suddenly becoming the defender. The confusion in the fog is real here. So the German pikemen now charging the Swedish musketeer left wing, and the closing fire got 1 disorder and no casualty. They got a save on the roll. So that was the movement and the closing fire for that unit. And no more movement. He was trying to move the skirmisher over to really start pushing the Swedish off the table here, off the field. So now it is the shooting phase. They can't shoot because they're in close combat. Nobody can shoot on the south side of the bridge. We have the Spanish musketeers. They're gonna fire on those Swedish musketeers. They all are shaken, so that's minus. Okay, the left wing, south wing of Spanish musketeer will fire on those musketeers on the south wing. It's going to be 2 dice, -1, hits on 4, 2 dice. 2 hits and a disorder. They need 2 saves. 2 saves. Yes, 2 saves. The north wing of musketeers in the Spanish regiment will fire on the north. Or maybe they keep firing on the same target. Let's pummel the same target. Hits on 5. 2 hits. And they're already disordered. So they need 2 saves of 5. Nope. They got 2 casualties. 2 Swedish casualties here. That's it for the infantry. Now we have the big surprise. It is the field cannon. What are they going to shoot at? They are going to shoot on the same musketeers there. So it's gonna be 1 dice hits on 6. They're shooting above friendly's head, and maybe even the bridge is not a clear target. Hits on 6. Ooh, that was close. Miss. And that was the shooting part for the Imperial. Now it's the hand-to-hand combat for the Imperial. We got some pikemen. Imperial pikemen are charging the Swedish wing of musketeers. They get 6 dice, and they're charging, so that's +1 on the hit. So that means they need to hit on 3s. Yeah, 6 dice hits on 3s, 5 hits. And the Swedish musketeers, 3 dice. 3 dice hits on 4. 1 hit. They, by the way, are disordered. So the Swedish need 5 dice, saves on 5 for the Swedish. 1 save and 4 casualties. 4 casualties. And the Imperial need 1 save of 4, I guess. Yes. They saved. And there we go. And we can see who's winning that. The German pikemen won. I think, do they need to take a break test 2 times? Because you see they have a stamina value of 3, and now with 3 more it would be -4. The disorder and exceeds with 3. Break test for the musketeers. Unit holds its ground. The hand-to-hand combat is resolved, and they won. Round 6 just ended, and what do we have on the table right now? What's going on here? They're still holding the south flank, the river crossing. Just 3 casualties, but they are shaken, and we got the Spanish regiment up there. They're all shaken, but they're holding their ground at the North River. And the Spanish regiment of pikemen just charged the Swedish south wing of musketeers on the blue regiment, and they got disordered when they were fighting in close combat, or was it in the first close range of musket fire? Don't remember. But the Swedish hold their ground. They got a lot of casualties and are disordered. And what's going on here? The cavalry, they're just confused. They got casualty markers. The Grey Regiment, they are, I guess, just in shock, because they're just standing there and they are shell-shocked. They can't do anything. And Gustav Gustafsson, he's blaming everyone else. It's not his fault. He's blaming the fog. So that's what's going on for round 6. Okay, we are back from the Swedish turn 7 for the Swedish movement. At last, the order from Captain Gustafsson reached the Swedish cavalry unit, and they got a full-on charge, full-on move, all the orders. So they just do a massive charge into the German skirmisher, crossing the river, but they took closing fire from the skirmisher and the left wing of those German musketeers at the bridge. But they saved. They got 1 casualty, I guess, but all those saves were success, even the break test. So they got 1 over, but a lot of casualties there. So now it is the Swedish shooting phase. So of course the Swedish do the caracole just before they run into the infantry, firing the pistols. So that would be for the cavalry on horse. 1 dice hits on 4. 1 hit. It's a save for the skirmisher. A save on 4. Here at the bridge, those musketeers, that's close range. Oh wait, they are engaged in hand-to-hand combat and cannot fire. Or can they? No. Musketeers on the north flank at the river, they are disordered, but they will fire on the south flank of the Spanish regiment. They hit on, they are -1. They hits on 5. So -1, they hit on 5s. They got 1 hit. They need a save of 5. And it's a save. Nothing happens. Too much wet gunpowder on this field. The light artillery will fire on the Spanish north wing of musketeers in that regiment on the north side. 2 dice hits on 5. 1 hit, because they got hit by light artillery, is -2 on the morale save, so they need a 6 to save. And it's a 1. Complete panic in the ranks of the Spanish musketeers, so they get 1 casualty. Another body is now floating in the river. Spanish need to make a break test. They are 1 over, so that's -1. Or is it something else if they got shot by artillery too? I don't know. Unit has suffered at least 1 casualty from artillery, so it's -2. -2. 5 for shooting. Unit retires 1 full move. Okay. The panic is now spreading in the ranks of the Spanish musketeers. They need to fall back. They're falling back 1 full move. And now the shooting has stopped and it's time for the hand-to-hand combat. Here at the bridge we got some forlorn hope musketeers, the last stand at that road against a bunch of pikemen. Can those Swedish musketeers do anything? We will see. So, Swedish musketeers in hand-to-hand combat. They are disorder and shaken. So it's -1. They hit some 5. 3 dice hits on 5 for the Swedish musketeers on the German pikemen. Oof. 3 hits and a disorder marker for. They already disordered, by the way. The German pikemen, Imperial pikemen, hits on 3s because they won the last round of close combat. And here we go. Hits on 3s. Ooh, 5 hits. The Spanish need a save of 3. 3 dice, save of 4 for the close combat. And it's 1 save, 2 casualties. So we got some casualties here. The Swedish need 5 saves of 5. They got 2 casualties. Here we go. Massacre at the bridge. It's a slaughterhouse here. The amount of bodies piling up on this crossing is huge. Okay, so they have a stamina of 3, here 2 over and such, and they also lost that engagement, so they will have to do a break test. -3 for the Swedish musketeers on the break test. Wow. They got shish kebab and slaughtered by the Bavarian pikemen. Yeah, it's a complete disaster here. The Swedish musketeers got slaughtered at the bridge by those pikemen. Okay, close combat at the river. The cavalry charged, got closing fire, they survived, got some casualties, got some disorder, and now they are going to slice through the German ranks of musketeers, skirmisher, like razor blades. They fire their pistols, the caracol, already done. I think they missed or something. And now those cavalrymen, how many dice? And they are charging. Oh shit. They get plenty of dice here. Full charge with the cavalry, they get 8 dice. It's gonna be a like slicing through hot butter with those swords. Okay. They hit on 3s. Because they're charging. So, what? That's plenty of. What a roll. 3 hits. At least something. Those German skirmisher have hand-to-hand value of 4. Look at that. So they hit on 4. So that will be 2 hits on the Swedish cavalry. The German skirmisher need a save of 4. They saved 2. Get 1 casualty. The Swedish need a save of 2 dice, and the cavalry have saves of 4. They're saving on 4. 1 save and 1 casualty. And what's going on here? Here we have... Now they got 5. 5 casualties there. Okay. They're getting bogged down in that shallow crossing water in the mud. They have a stamina value of 3. So that's 2 more than they can take, plus a disorder. So that's a break test for the Swedish cavalry. -3 for the Swedish cavalry. 5. Unit retires 1 full move away. They charge, did some fencing, some slicing, some shooting, and then retire 1 full move. Is it from the back or is it from the front? Let's do it from the front. So that's 9. Oh, now they're standing next to those pikemen. Not good at all. So that was the Swedish turn. They moved in, they charged, got some kills, and got shot at and had to retire 1 full move, and they are now very much exposed by the Imperial pikemen that holding a foothold at the bridge. And now it is the Imperial turn 7. Now we are back from the movement phase of the Imperial, round 7. The German Imperial pikemen trying to charge the Swedish cavalry, but they evaded, retiring 1 full move back. And then the Pappenheim's regiment on foot moved up 1 move, and that is what happened this... No, he also rallied on me, removed 1 casualty marker for the regiment defending the south bridge, and that what's happened. Now for the shooting phase for the Imperial side. See if those skirmisher can fire back here. No. They're not in range. They are on the line. I say no. Those Spanish musketeers will fire the Swedish musketeers. That's what they will do. Yeah, there are shaken, so that's -1. They hit some 5. They miss. And the other wing of musketeers also gonna do the same and fire on those musketeers. Hit some 5. 2 dice. 1 hit. And now the Swedish need a save of 5. It's a miss. They get another casualty marker here, and they are shaken. All the infantry has been firing the volleys, and now it's the big artillery piece is going to fire. Let's get rid of this cavalry once and for all. 1 big Bavarian artillery shot. Gonna be 1 dice. Hits on 6. He's shooting above his head of friendlies. It's a miss. So the shooting phase is now over for the Imperial. Round 7. Okay, round 7 is now done. And this is going to be the final round. Round 8. So what have happened here? The German pikemen, they have charged the bridge and killed some pikemen and musketeers, and tried to charge and flank those horsemen, the cavalry, but failed, and they evaded. And we have the skirmisher, the German regiment holding the bridge still, and those Pappenheim musketeers has moved up The Spanish are still holding strong. They have been shaken. They're all shaken except the pikemen. They are still holding anyway. And the Swedish commanded Shotte, those musketeers. The left wing is shaken and disordered. And still the Grey Regiment can't do anything. They're shell-shocked. They are just witness to this disaster that's unfolding here. Let's do turn 8, Swedish movement. We are back. Now the final round. The movement for the Swedish. They going all in now. Now it's time to do the last massive full-on charge on all flanks, on the north, on the center, on the south. They're going all in now. And all the orders was a success. And also Captain Gustafsson was trying to order to rally on me, but it didn't work, so it's a fail there. But here is the movement. The cavalry got movement up. They're gonna move up and do a caracole fire on those pikemen, and the Grey Regiment is now moving up and gonna be a support for those blue regiment's pikemen that are charging into the German pikemen's flank, and they have support in the rear. And also the Grey Regiments will be able to shoot with the left wing of musketeers onto those pikemen. So they're gonna be softened up by caracole, matchlock fire, and up here the river is turning red. Swedish are now just gonna rush and give closing fire, and also with the light cannon moved up to give the Spanish some Swedish hail shot. Fermented herring, stone, shrapnel, metal pieces, everything on the Spanish. So here we go, time for the shooting phase for the Swedish. So let's start with the cavalry moving forward, giving the caracole to the pikemen. But maybe I'm doing wrong here with the rules again. They moving up and they are in the line of fire for that entire flank of musketeers. There's 2 units of musketeers, 1 unit of skirmisher, and they are in range. So I'm not sure if they should be able to fire when they moved up like that or not. Or is it when they just in 12 inches, or is it 6 inches? Again, I'm a bit confused, but they're not gonna fire now again. Let's say just the gunpowder is wet because of the water. It's a bad weather, fog. So, caracole on those pikemen. 1 dice hits on 4. 1 hit, and they're already disordered. It's a save of 4. It's a failure. So they failed. A casualty marker. So that was the caracole. Then we have the left wing of the musketeers. Yeah, they move up close to give them a volley. 2 dice, and it's close range, +1, so they hit on 3. 1 hit. They need a save of 4. They failed, so they are now shaken. Then we have those musketeers up at the river. They're going to fire a devastating volley on the Spanish wing of musketeers next to the river. It's gonna be 4 dice, hits on 4s. They got 3 hits. Those Spanish are shaken. They need a save of 3 saves of 5. They fail. 3 more casualty markers. Oh my god. The river is so much full with bodies that you almost can make a bridge out of all those dead bodies there and cross the river anyway. Whatever. They have stamina of 3, so that's 3 more over and disordered. It's a break test for those Spanish musketeers. Let's see. It's gonna be -4 for the musketeers. Oh dear. That's a 4. The unit breaks and is destroyed. A massive Swedish volley on the Spanish musketeer. They are destroyed. So the Spanish musketeers on the left wing at the bridge got destroyed by the massive volley fire from the Swedish commanded shot. And then we have the field artillery. They moved up and they're gonna fire on medium range. They're gonna fire on those musketeers. 2 dice, hits on 5s. 4-pounder. Ooh, 2 hits. And they are disordered. And 2 saves of 5. 1 save, 1 casualty. It's now 1 casualty over. They already shaken, so 1 over. They need to take a break test. So 1 dice minus 1 excess over, and the disordered -2. So break test, 2 dice -2. 3. The Spanish musketeers unit is broken and is destroyed. Massive shot by cannon. I think even they should have had a minus on the morale save because they got hit by the light artillery. But whatever, they are destroyed. Nope. Nope. Now it's time for the close combat phase here. So the Swedish pikemen are now charging the Imperial German pikemen. They got 6 dice, hits on 3s. Hits on 3s, so it is 3 hits. The German pikemen, they have 6 dice, hits on 4. Hit on 4, 3 hits. And they are disordered. The Imperial need to save. The Imperial pikemen, 3 dice, saves on 4. They save 2, 1 casualty for the pikemen. And then the Swedish need a save of 4, 3 dice. 1 save, 2 casualties. They are in support, so the Imperial lost that engagement and that combat. They need to take a break test. They have a stamina value of 4, so they're shaken, 1 over and 1 disorder, so they're -2 on the break test. -2 on the break test. 4. Unit breaks and is destroyed. The German pikemen, the Imperial pikemen, are destroyed by that charge of the Swedish pikemen with support and of course some caracole and some volleys of muskets. And as you guys can see, the bodies just piling up here at the bridge. It's a complete massacre from both sides. The casualty rate is high. I should have actually take notes on the casualties altogether for the end. Maybe I'll do it next time when I do a big battle, just for show. So Swedish turn 8 is now done, and it's time for the last final round, last final movement for the Imperial. Okay, round 8. And Imperial turn, movement phase is over. Captain Miller ordered the Pappenheim regiment to move up to the bridge to give them a last volley of musket fire on the other side, on the Swedish. And he rally on me, removed 1 casualty marker on one of the regiment covering the south flank of the bridge. So now it's time for the shooting phase, the last round here. What will be left of the Swedish after this shooting phase? We will see. So, Now the shooting phase for the Imperial. Let's start with the skirmisher here. They will fire on the Swedish cavalry. It will be 3 dice, hits on 4. They got 2 hits. Cavalry have a save of 4, 2 dice. It's 2 saves. Nothing happens. They will fire also on the cavalry. That will be 4 dice. 4 dice hits on 4. So 2 hits and they are disordered. So the Swedish need save on 4. They failed. 2 casualty markers. Then they have 2 more than they can have and are disordered. They need to take a break test from all those volleys from the Imperial Musketeers. So the break test -3. That's 5. Unit retires 1 move and they're gone. They are gone. They're just leaving the battlefield. Cavalry left the building. Those musketeers that just arrived to the bridge will fire on the Swedish pikemen. Are they in range? Yes, there are. 2 dice. Hits on 4. 1 hit. They need a save of 4. It's a casualty. Another casualty. They just reinforced the Spanish pikemen here with the musketeers. 1 wing will fire on that wing of Swedish musketeers. Hits on 4s. 2 dice. 2 hits. And the Swedish need a save of 5. 2 dice. 1 save. 1 casualty. And oops, they are now shaken and 1 exceeds over the limit, so they need to take a break test. That's -1 for break test. So 7. Unit holds its ground. For the last shooting we have the Imperial medium cannon and they're gonna shoot on the pikemen. It's gonna be 1 dice, hits on 5 and it's a miss. It's game over. No. It's game over. The conclusion is the Swedish, they got confused. They got a panic. They had a regiment in shell shock during the entire battle that witnessed the complete disaster and failure of this crossing. So what do we have? We have the German skirmisher, only one casualty. They held off 2 or 3 attacks for the cavalry. 2 attacks, I think. 2 charges. And the cavalry, they get exhausted and left. They couldn't take it anymore. They held their position. And the Spanish, they fought hard up there. They fought hard. But they lost all their musketeers. But in the end they got reinforced by those German Pappenheim musketeers. Oh boy. The Swedish did not make it. They had some intense fighting at the bridge. The pikemen pushed away at last those harassing German pikemen. But they could not cross. They couldn't get even over the bridge. And the only unit that actually got closer to the bridge, except the cavalry, was the Swedish commanded musketeer unit. And the light gun moved up. A complete disaster for the Swedish battalia. Captain Gustafsson is gonna just disappear, be the grey man, and retire after plundering some more German towns and village. No crossing for the Swedish. Next game I will do a friend, and there will be another big game, maybe even another crossing. All the figures, a big battle. This is just a small amount of figures. I think I have to double the size or even more for both sides. So I will do a big game, the disaster and failure at the River Flossgraben. Thanks guys for watching, and take care. Hope you guys like it. Feel free to make a comment, subscribe, whatever. Any comment about the rules, because I need to refresh my mind. Take care. Hope you guys enjoy it. Goodbye.